Okay, so Jonathan Harker is this man working for. I read this intro like a long time. What does Jonathan Harker do? Oh, okay, he's an English solicitor. Is that how you say that? Solicitor? My French is coming out. Yeah, he's an English solicitor. And he's filling in for someone else, I believe. And that's why he goes to Transylvania to meet with the Count and discuss about basically his accounts. Okay. Anyways, and now we're into his fiance who's writing letters. He writes letters to his fiance, but the Count withholds them from being delivered. So now I'm like stuck between wanting to reread the beginning. Fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it just because I love to have a fresh memory, and I'll come back once I make it past the point that I was at, which is 80 pages in, just because I just love knowing everything at once. I kind of want to read this in one go, just so that I don't forget anything this time around. It's probably gonna take me like a few hours, because it's a classic. Yeah. Probably gonna take me like 7 hours. Or I read like the first half today. I don't know. We'll see. Update. I'm reading a summary on Schmoop, and you know what? The story is pretty fresh in my mind, so might as well just do that and then resume, because I don't want to reread those pages. Okay, don't judge me. But the Schmoop summary, if you're ever looking for one on Dracula, it's pretty in-depth, and they give context too, so pretty good. I feel like a high schooler. I would even do this in university. So where did my undergrad and master's degree in literature go? Honestly, I feel like I need someone to delete permanently TikTok off my phone so I can restore some brain cells. Not that that's how it works, but you know what I mean? Like, anyways, that's another conversation for another day. I forgot about this. The Count wanting to learn how to speak proper English. I mean, he wanted to perfect his English. His English is pretty good. And he's asking Harker about like words and stuff. Oh, now I know where the letters are coming from. So Count Dracula wants to invest in real estate in London, and he's helping him with the investment. It's an estate called Carfax, and it's close to London, and it's an old house with a chapel attached to it, and then next door there's a lunatic asylum, and basically I guess probably that's where Harker is most likely gonna end up in the end, but we'll see. Okay, that's a crucial element that I forgot about, and that makes more sense now. so dark and gloomy out and it's snowing in April, but I think Dracula is slowly becoming like one of my favorite classics of all time. Like, it's just so good, it's so compelling, and I think it's the audiobook that I'm listening to from my library. Let me figure out who's reading this audiobook. I think it's maybe a cast of character. Okay, the audiobook is read by G.P. Grimo and Tavia Gilbert, and it's published by Duke Classics. Okay, but whoever's doing these the two people that are doing this audiobook are doing such a fantastic job. Okay, like, I'm just so captivated, and if it weren't for the audiobook, I think I would not be like as enthralled with this story. But the person that is doing Dr. Van Helsing is doing like this Dutch accent. I don't know if it's a correct Dutch accent, but it's just so captivating, and he put so much emotion in it. You could actually read the words as if it was really like Dr. Van Helsing, like right here with me, like talking to me. I don't know how to explain it. It's just, I love that character so much. I love him more than most of the main characters. And yeah, just the discovery of the vampire and everything that's happening, and how, like, you know, little things are just adding up together to connect, like how everyone is connecting. Like, at first you're like reading like 100 and so pages and you're like, okay, like let's get through it, like stop with the letter writing, stop with the journal entries, stop with the, you know, like there's a lot of journal entries and letter writing. But you know what, I'm starting to like that of this story, because it's like piecing everything together. And then all of a sudden, like, the action hits midpoint, and then everyone starts to band together basically, and it's so good. I can't believe I'm only like 60% of the way through. I don't find this book to be horrifying. Like, I wonder what did people think when it first got published. I just find that it's so endearing. How is a book about the most frightening character out there so endearing? Like, not the character itself, but everyone else that plays a role in this like involvement, right, with Dracula. And it's just like, everyone's so endearing. Mina's so cute, Lucy's the best, and you know, Jonathan as well. All these like supporting characters, and then Dr. Seward. And it's just so cozy. How, I don't know how I'm describing this as cozy, but it feels cozy. Like, I could see myself picking this up every year just to like be with these characters. And I think it's because of Van Helsing, honestly, just because of the way he is. He's like so overly empathetic and like an old lonely man, but also like he really takes his job seriously. You know, like people that love their jobs to the point where it's like they want to know what's going on. They're not like contented with just being like, yeah, she had this like weird puncture on her neck and disease, and you know, let's just get over with it. You know, like, it's just such a nice read, such a nice classic. Honestly, I hope I'm still gonna love it by the end. And like, I feel like the action part is starting now. So if I already loved it when it was very slow and like slow pace and like taking its time to get there, I just can't imagine how the second half of the book will be. And yeah, I'll come back and report back. I'm trying not to like spoil anything, but I think everyone pretty much knows. But I feel like if you haven't read Dracula, you wouldn't know about the characters that are involved. You would just know about Dracula. So I do want to watch the movie that was with Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder back in the day. And what's his name? That good actor. I forgot his name. But I'll come back and I'll talk more about this. And then I'll talk about the movie if I get to watch it anytime soon. Also, I'm currently working on my vampire book. And that's why I'm reading all these like gothic and vampire Dracula type tales. And then I want to work on Riviera again. I know I say this every year, but I think I haven't made a decision with Riviera. I don't know if I want to self-publish it or get it traditionally published. But the vampire book, I'm just so excited about it. I just want to publish it myself in the next few months. So yeah, I got 2 packages. Okay, I needed to get some pen, and I got this book that I couldn't find anywhere else. And yeah, I just really want this because it's like research for Riviera and my other projects. So let's start with the book. And it's this book, and it looks so good. It's The Art Thief by Noah Charney. And if you think that I read a book called The Art Thief last year, you are right, I did. However, it's not the same book. This is a fictional tale, and the other one was an actual real not autobiography, a real biography of events that happened, like a constructed biography. So this one is a vivid, marvelously readable look at the world of stolen art. The fascinating tale keeps you constantly wondering, does this really happen? Noah Charney knows his stuff. So yeah, who knew that this is like a big thing that happens in our world? I'm just like slowly collecting all books that have to do with art crime and art thievery, and I'm just having such a grand old time, and I actually want to get into art now. I don't know, like if I could, I would study so many different avenues if I went back to university. And that's just the thing about being a lifelong learner, and I think I'm just gonna keep doing my stuff. And I want to start painting, I want to start drawing again. I feel like those are things that I lost touch with growing up because I was a very depressed child, adolescent, and young adult. So now that I'm like slowly healing and getting back to myself, like all these things that I used to love and I used to like find value in are coming back to me. So yeah, just love it so much, and I can't wait to read this one as well. Okay, next package. These are pens that I ordered. Okay, I struggle with finding the perfect pens to write with, highlight with, and I want it to be liquid enough that it's like writing very smoothly and I can read and discern my handwriting, but not too liquid that it explodes or that like I get dirty fingers all the time. So and yeah, I really like black pens, very simple, very efficient. So I'm hoping that these are good. I looked at the reviews online, they sound like they're good, so I'll try these pens out today as I'm like doing some outlining for my novel, and then I'll get back to you as to if they're good or not, and I'll link them down below obviously. So these are the pens that I got. Pulling one out, let's see. Okay, it looks like a fine tip. Let me try something on my cue card here. Okay, not bad. I like it. It's very smooth. Look. And yes, I am a lefty. I don't know what that is, but so smooth. I love that. Okay, I'm gonna be using these. Good. I was so worried, you know. I was like reading every review that I could find, and they were pretty cheap too. So they're 0.35 millimeters, and there's 12 in a pack, and it's about $12 with tax, which is really good. It's like you're paying $1-ish for one. It's one on the cheaper sides than, you know, like actual pens like this where you pay like $5. They're probably really great pens, but I don't have $5 to pay for each pen, and I go to pens like crazy. So I wanted something that's like my fountain pen without being like my fountain pen. So I think this is good for highlighting stuff, making little notes, versus like my journaling stuff. I'm still gonna use my, you know, fountain pen. So yeah, I'm happy. Can't complain.
What? He asked gently, whilst we were all very still, for each in our own way we had a sort of vague idea of what she meant. Her answer came with direct simplicity, as though she was simply stating fact. Because if I find in myself, and I shall watch keenly for it, a sign of harm to any that I love, I shall die. You would not kill yourself? He asked falsely. I would. If there were no friend who loved me, who would save me such a pain, and so desperate an effort. She looked at him meaningly as she spoke. He was sitting down, but now he rose, and came close to her, and put his hand on her head, as he said solemnly, my child, here is such a one, if fit for your good. For myself, I could hold it in my account with God to find such a euthanasia for you, even at this moment if it were best. Nay, word save. What, my child? For a moment he seemed choked, and a great sob rose in his throat. Held it down and went on. There are here some who would stand between you and death. You must not die. You must not die by any hand, but least of all your own. Until the other who has found your sweet life is true dead. You must not die. But if he is still with a click on dead, your death would make you even as he is. No, you must live. You must struggle and strive to live. Your death would seem a boon unspeakable. You must fight death himself. Though he come to you in pain or in joy, by the day or the night, in safety or in peril, on your living soul, I charge you that you do not die. Nay, not think of death, till this great evil be peshed. The poor dear grew white as death, and shook and shivered, as I have seen quicksand shake and shiver at the incoming of the tide. We were all silent. We could do nothing. At length, she grew more calm, and turned to him, said sweetly, but oh so sorrowfully, as she held out her hand. I promise you, my dear friend, that if God will let me live, I shall strive to do so, till, if it may be in his good time, this horror may have passed away from me. She was so good and brave that we all felt.
I have a hair part that just does not want to cooperate. Whatever. So I finished Dracula finally. It was so good. I've been reading this since last August and we are April now, so I've been reading this for quite some while, and honestly I've just enjoyed it. I just devoured it. I like the characters that we have. I genuinely thought that this would focus more on Dracula, but that's not the case. Like every time you think of a classic, you think you know what it's going to be, and then it's something totally different. Same thing happened to me with Frankenstein when I read it like years ago in my undergrad. And so it's the same with Dracula. It's always the focus of other characters and not the main character per se. So I really love classics and novels that are like that, where it's like there's this person and they're either good or bad, but what really matters is how this person affects all the other people. The other people are what are important and vital to the story and to the survival and to the humanity and etc. So this book is no different, and honestly I love the characters towards the end. I really got to connect to a few of them, but I will say that it does become quite repetitive. I've seen a lot of comments online and reviews online that have said the same thing, that it becomes super repetitive, and I do agree that it does. I think that it could have used some harsher editing, if that makes sense, but the writing style is beautiful, and Dr. Van Helsing is like one of my favorite characters of all time now. And I will say, although it's been so repetitive and whatnot, the ending just feels so abrupt and rushed, but I guess it is what it is. And this really feels like a romance, kind of. Like it feels more erotic than it feels horrifying or horrific. And I'm not sure if I'm the only one that feels that way, but just in the way that the characters speak and just in the way that there's the correspondence that's happening. There's a lot of letters, there's a lot of exchange of letters, there's a lot of diary entries, like there's a lot of pathos, okay? I don't know if you call it pathos or pathos. I think in French we say pathos. It's like there's a lot of pathos, like there's a lot of high strung emotion and sentimentality behind this novel, which just feels so detached from the horror. And I don't know if it just accentuates the horror in the way that you feel worried about these characters versus like you feel scared for these characters. Not too sure where I'm going with this, but it's something worth exploring, and I think I will be able to explore that better whenever I get my chance to reread this. But yeah, I definitely recommend this. It's one of my favorite classics now. I wouldn't say my top favorite. I'm still not sure if I prefer Frankenstein or Dracula, but that's okay. We don't have to put preference on everything that we read. So yeah, let me know if you read Dracula, let me know if you've never read it, and let me know what you think about the book. And I might go and watch the movie. I actually wanted to make this update after watching the movie, the Bram Stoker one that they made in the 90s. Yeah, I didn't get a chance. Maybe I'll watch it sometime soon, but either way I still intend to do film and movie wrap up, so that's fine. You'll see that there. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you on the next one, and happy reading.